Hello everybody, FlightPoint speaking. Today we will be looking at the second half of the Concorde's timeline. This video is the second in a series of 7 videos about SST with focus on the Concorde. I won't waste any time, so let's go. When the Concorde began mass production, it was hoped to produce hundreds of them, but as mentioned before in my other video, many orders were cancelled. This resulted in only 14 Concordes being mass-produced for commercial flight. The 14 planes were flown by Air France and British Airways, since the two airliners could not really get rid of them. This was because the government decided what should happen to the Concorde program, as it was signed back in 1962. British Airways didn't really want the Concorde, but since the Concorde program was financed by the government and British Airways was the only British airline, they were forced to integrate the Concorde in their fleet. So the last commercial Concorde, which was only number 14, flew its maiden flight the 20th April 1979. When a Concorde from Air France took off in July 25, 2000, a small piece of metal that had fallen off of another plane hit one of the Concorde's tires. As this tire was very hot due to the aircraft taking off and the metal very sharp, it resulted in the tire bursting. A part of the tire hit the underside of the Concorde so violently that it tore a hole in the fuel system. This made a lot of fuel run out of one wing on the plane, which hit right down on a small broken wire. Sparks were coming out of this wire, which ignited all the fuel in the wing, which kept gushing out. This resulted in a giant flame under the Concorde, which had only a few minutes in the air before crashing into a hotel near the airport. All persons on the plane died, including some people in the hotel. This accident made the outside world doubt the Concorde, even though this was the only accident with victims in the Concorde's history. 3 days after the accident, Air France and British Airways banned all of their Concordes from flying. While these aircrafts were banned from flying, expensive safety modifications were made to all Concordes. Over a year later, Air France and British Airways repealed the flight ban, and the Concorde was again able to fly. But the world had moved on. 2 months earlier, the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon had taken place. Demand for business flights to New York were fallen drastic. Several Concordes began to cross the Atlantic almost empty. In addition, the cost of maintenance was rising. All this resulted in the announcement of phasing out the Concorde. After only 30 years, the Concorde program was ready to be shut down. Air France and British Airways announced that they would close the Concorde program approximately 6 months later. Over the next 6 months, there was great demand for the last flight with the Concorde. Every seat was sold and more flights were added than planned. Tours were also added in the US, Canada, and in the UK. On October 24, 2003, Concorde 002 left New York for the last time. When it landed for the last time, hundreds of people stood shouting and waving flags, when the Concorde approached the gate. The airport fire trucks stood ready and gave a water salute. Captain Mike Bannister explains the remaining vision. And there were 5 perfectly servable Concordes sitting on the ramp, and they would never carry fare-paying passengers again. That was all for this video. I really hope you like it. The next 4 videos will be about the legendary pilots in my Christmas specials. So, bye bye folks, and almost Merry Christmas.